You are the one you have been waiting on. You are the one you have been waiting on. You are the one you have been waiting for. Hello and welcome back. Episode 6. I'm calling this the Quantum Experience. I'm your host, DC Butler, on the Higher Sense podcast show. So glad to be back with y'all today. Today I want to focus on our communication. I've been leading up to a lot of this information over the last couple of podcasts. I've been trying to open y'all up to a future language, if you will. It's the language that we will be using in the quantum field, which is the heavenly field. Remember, God is a frequency and heaven is a state of consciousness. And your conscious soul is in the present. The tricks are to make you think that you are your past and your past dictates your future, but none of that truly exists. That's part of the illusion. So today, I'm going to bring to you two major concepts to reveal the mysteries of life, if you will. And I'm going to tie that up at the end a little bit better, because I don't like these mysteries. There are no mysteries to life. No one has all the answers that you don't already have inside of you. I've said this maybe in the last podcast. I'm not sure how many I've said, but the truth is inside of you. If it was anywhere else, it could be stolen. It could be taken from you. There is only the illusion that there is a separation from you and the divine creator, you and Jesus, you and Yeshua. You are the one you have been waiting for. Jesus says in John 14:20, on that day you will know that I am in my Father, and you in me, and I in you. It's all tied in together for the human experience. The growth opportunity. This 3D dimension is your opportunity for growth. You have the time to grow. You can contemplate this conversation we have. You can contemplate an interaction you have with someone, and you have the opportunity and time to grow through that experience. You can grow up or you can grow down. It's your choice. You can't make a wrong choice. You will get there at some point. It's the circle of life. It's eternal. So, I've spoke about the alpha omega, like a pendulum swinging of emotion, a pendulum swinging of emotion from side to side. It's like the light and the shadow. the light and the dark. The frequency that you want to be is in the middle, the mu, feeling from your heart space, not being emotional from your head space, your animalistic ego. We're trying to achieve the completed man, in parentheses, if you will, Adam. Adam had a balanced male, feminine consciousness. The yin and yang was balanced in him, and that's what we're headed back towards. In the New Testament, it says that you're headed back to the new spirit man. That is completion of the balancing between your male and feminine aspects. This is the true Trinity for the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Your consciousness is your head. Your subconsciousness is your heart. And the Christ consciousness is the movement towards the crystalline body that we will be taking into the higher realms. We're all working towards the same goal, no matter where you are in this world. We are the humankind. So I'm going to hit a few things in my book, Making Sense of Health by Engaging the Five Senses. And my cousin said something interesting that spoke out, and he just said, we're just going to make sense of everything. So let's do that. Let's clear up all the misconceptions and let's get the promises that we have been promised. So in every concept, I like to bring you, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'll try to hit a physical aspect, usually in the beginning of the podcast, and then a metaphysical aspect in the beginning. And it's all relative to time, space, and where your consciousness is. So in the Song of Solomon, Solomon enters the bedchamber to be with his bride. This is showing you how in the physical world you can link your consciousness and your subconsciousness together when you're asleep. Your pineal gland is part of the endocrine system, and it puts your animal ego to sleep. Animal is the sign of the beast. The beast, number 6, right? It's carbon based. But we're promised 7, the completed heavenly number, the completed man. That's what these things mean. Let's clear up the confusion and enjoy this river of life experience. So in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, I'm going to be reading verse 2 and 16. For he says, at an acceptable time I have listened to you, and on a day of salvation I have helped you. See, now is the acceptable time. See, now is the day of salvation. What agreement has the temple of God with idols? For we are the temple of the living God. As God said, I will live in them and walk among them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. The essence of God is inside you. You are the ones walking around with this power that has been suppressed inside of you, and you have to be still and know that I am. And there's no sacrilegiousness to this. This is your divine inheritance of the human being, not the human doing. Human doing is so worried about all the constraints and the finite rules and laws that man puts upon them. God doesn't put any of this pressure upon you. It's society. I'm going to show you how to break free from that society and those chains. This is the teachings of Master Jesus that came to show pure love in the age of Pisces. It was the precursor for the age of Aquarius, which we went into in 2012. The age of Aquarius is known as the age of light. Light was created on day one. We are doing a completion back to the perfect man with the perfect physical body to ascend into the heavenly realm. So in my book, I start out explaining the physical body, because that's what we have to work with down here. And I name off the components: skeletal system, muscular system, nervous system, autonomic nervous system, respiratory system, circulatory system, endocrine system, lymphatic system, digestive system. But remember that you are not just skin, bones, organs, and muscles with blood pumping through your body. You are so much more. You are consciousness expressing as energy, and some of that energy is merged with the physical body to give you a sense of belonging in a particular place. Make the conscious effort to feel your infinite and eternal nature while in this physical body. So let's use the attributes that we've been given. Now let's touch on how to center ourselves and get to that consciousness, the true Trinity. The consciousness, subconsciousness, and Christ consciousness. That's the Trinity triangle of the third dimension that will get you to that pyramid. A pyramid is a fifth dimension triangle. It's got 4 points at the bottom and 1 at the top. Become the living pyramid while walking upon this earth. I mentioned the Song of Solomon and how the emergence of the conscious and the subconscious happen when you go to sleep. That's the internal. Your external world is a mirror image of your internal state. Now, Paul in the New Testament writes in Ephesians 5, beginning in chapter 21, that the male is the head and the female is the heart. That's saying the same thing. The male is conscious, head. Female is subconscious, heart. Now, the writer Paul, or a transliteration, says that the male is the head and the female is the heart, and the female is subservient to the male, which took that internal bliss of infinite being and brought it external. That's when the separation occurred of Adam. Eve came in chapter 2. The separation of the male and feminine consciousness was taken from your internal and brought to the external. So we need to wake up and get the proper communication of these concepts, and it will set you free. So I've got, hold on, let me go right back to, I said a word called transliteration. What this means is how our concepts have changed throughout the eons, the ages. There was an action, and then there was stories of these actions, and then there was drawings, hieroglyphs, and then these hieroglyphs became letters. Letters became words. Words became sentences, and now we have paragraphs. And Master Jesus never wrote anything. And he spoke of these senses, but he was talking on a metaphysical, eyes to see, ears to hear, for those that can. In my book, I touch on, excuse me, we don't do any editing here. You get the full raw experience. So there will be moments where I will say, excuse me, but you are going to get my raw thoughts and emotions because you deserve it. So we have to go back to these teachings and then transcend the written word to the living word. I don't need to spout off a prayer to impress you or impress myself. Become the living prayer. Become the living word. Actions speak louder than words because actions are what truly exist. The words and the language are how you can be deceived. So, the breath of life is where we have to focus to get us back to a conscious state. Your body will be on an autopilot. I mentioned the autonomic nervous system. Well, to get out of the autonomic nervous system, we've been taught that our brain and our body run this experience, and that's not true. Your conscious soul, which has soul memory DNA, runs this experience, and it makes it so much easier to flow if you can live from this space. And that's what I want you to take away from this episode. So the breath, in my book, I call it the infinite breath. It's a technique you can find on page 41 of my book. There's some other techniques called the accordion breath, which I'm going to have us do a short version of that before I reveal the river of life communication that I want to bring to you today. And then there's also an infinity breath that you can do. You can Google this, but it's taking your consciousness breath from your brain area, the medulla oblongata, which is the bottom part before it goes into the brainstem and comes out of the skull to flow down your spine. And as you take that breath and concentrate in that region, you push your breath down into the earth, which you are connected to. The earth is a living entity. It's got oil that flows through its body like our blood. It's got trees that breathe in like our lungs. Everything is alive around you. Everything is in constant motion. There is no zero. Zero was created for banking so that you can be in a deficit and owe some bull crap law to man, which we're going to touch on at the end because this is part of our divine inheritance. We were given everything in Genesis 1:26, land, air, and sea. Everything. So on page 41 of the book, a breathing exercise that helps the mind and body. Get in a relaxed seated position. Start a rhythmic breathing cycle with a combination of in and out breaths that feel good each time that you perform this exercise. It could be inhaled through the nose and exhaled out of the mouth. The next time, inhale through the mouth and exhale through the mouth. Whatever is comfortable in that particular session, just listen to your body. You are going to take 51 breaths total. At the end of the 10th breath, close your eyes. After 20 breaths, shut your ability to smell down. 30 breaths, don't allow yourself to taste. Once you've reached 40 breaths, mute your hearing, your listening. Go to your feeling, your inner feeling. At the 50th breath, stop sensing with your body. Go in. Be still and know that I am in. On that 51st breath, I want you to blow it out hard, releasing all the air inside of you. Go as long as you can without taking another breath. Focus on the stillness and the power of the 6th sense that powers your physical body. Resume normal breaths as you experience the spiritual nature that ignites your state of being. This is the same concept as fasting, where you are shutting down life functions. Your body will start consuming itself to try and survive. During this infinite breath work, you are removing painful memories that are limiting joy in your life. You will experience the healing of areas that have been troublesome in the past. We are not a reflection of our past. The only thing that matters is your actions in the present. So love yourself. This exercise will bring you back to the heart and away from the ego. The present is the only thing that exists. Everything else is a hoax. You cannot engage with the past or the future. You can only experience the present. The present is where time and eternity share the same space. In Luke chapter 10, 38 through 40, 41 through 4, he entered a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. She had a sister named Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he was saying. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks. Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted by many things. There is need for only one thing. That one thing is to be present in the presence. Okay, I want to move towards the river of life. Now I want to do a short version of this accordion breath. And the accordion breath is where you're going to take a 3-second conscious breath in, and then you're going to blow out for another 3 seconds. let's get into a 3-second in and out breathing rhythm. In and out breathing to bring forward your consciousness that powers this physical body, and we can learn to live in this space in the present and just be. So there's two examples of the river of life that I want to share with you. We're going to go with a physical / metaphysical, and then I'm going to go with another physical / metaphysical. I guess they're both a balance between the two. That's a good theme. The human spine has 33 vertebrae when you're first born. As you grow older, 9 of these vertebrae, fuse to create your sacrum. At the end of the sacrum is a coccyx. So 33 vertebrae. That's an important number that we've seen throughout time. So if we look at these 33 vertebrae on a chart, I have these charts in my office, so I look at them all the time. To me, it looks like stairs. In my book, I say, this is the Jacob's ladder. That's Genesis 28:12. He has a dream, and the angels are ascending and descending upon this stairway to heaven, and at the top he sees the presence of God, and God says, I am. Well, the human DNA helices is a spiral staircase. Your vertebrae are a staircase. So if we climb these 33 vertebrae, we get to the base of the skull. The skull has 22 bones in it. The Hebrew original alphabet has 22 letters. These letters represent actions. Actions of the Creator for its creation. If you go from the beginning of the first letter in the alphabet to the last, we've now gone through the 33 steps and then the 22 more actions. We get to the end of the Hebrew alphabet, which is Tav. Tav means truth in Hebrew, and in Greek it means signature. And if you want to know God's signature, you go to Exodus 3:14, and he tells Moses, I am. Jesus reiterates this when he says, I am. I am in the Father, as he is in me, and as I am in you. That's the mystery. It's within. Nothing in this external world is going to give you any completion. Throughout the Old Testament, the word is used liberation. The freeing of humanity from bondage. communication of truth through love to get to the light is how we get there. Now, through transliteration, I don't know why this happened. I don't care, nor should you. It is what it is at this point. It's part of our growth experience in this creation. So we will move forward from the present. But that word liberation from the Old Testament is spoken of 45 times in the New Testament, but it is expressed as salvation. Now, this is a big difference from liberation. Liberation is something that would occur on a physical plane, and salvation would take you to an afterlife. Well, I don't need an afterlife. I'm in a life now. My conscious soul is experiencing life now. So I'm going to go ahead and liberate it now and seize back my divine inheritance. And I please welcome everyone to join me, because I love you all so much. And this is how we take it back. Through the breath of a life and your consciousness saying, I am. You have a choice in every situation of love or fear. That's the duality world you find yourself in. But love is the only thing that exists. Fear doesn't exist. It's only here to enhance the experience of love. Okay. The next river of life is, I want you to, if you can, if you're not driving, I want you to close your eyes and set yourself in a flowing river. A nice, steady stream of flow down this river. Peaceful river. This is the straight and narrow. This is the Christ consciousness. This is the Mu. You are flowing in an energy state of water. Now, the trick of this physical realm is to take you out of that flow of peace down the straight and narrow. And here's how they do it. Water is a current. Money is currency. Water is your metaphysical power. Money is your physical nemesis. It's fake. It doesn't exist. It's currency that flows like a current. And if you crash into the bank of the river and deposit your emotions instead of flowing down the middle of the river through your feelings of your heart, they've got you. That's where fear comes in, when you've crashed into the banks of the river and deposited your emotions, you can be manipulated. Let's stop the manipulation. It's in the language. The language is how you get tripped up. So I'd like for you to take another deep, conscious breath to the point that it expands your stomach out. And I want you to feel these words. As a collective consciousness, I would like to start praying for the removal of our current financial system for the quantum financial system, QFS. Now, everything that's going to be presented to you in the future, you're going to have two options in the way it can go. If you go with the flow of being infinite, that's love. You get to choose. So we are today choosing that this QFS, quantum financial system, will be the liberation that we need to move towards our utopian society. QFS is a fair transitional system that will bring transparency and an abundance to all of Earth's inhabitants. This is one of the first pieces that needs to be addressed to reduce the burden of fear on the masses. If we can raise the vibration of all people, then we can have a peaceful transition back into our divine inheritance. There are no mysteries to life, just confusion through misinformation. This is the eternal now. Breathe deep to feed the soul. Smile big to activate the vagus nerve, and hug others to share the vibrations. We are human beings, not human doings. The divine creator made this experience for you to enjoy. Let life be what it will be. Ride the frequency on the river of life. Now, from last episode, your homework was random acts of hugs. So I hope you got your hug quota in. You need at least 8 a day. Let those vibrations change the world. And if you like what I'm doing here, keep spreading the love, frequency, and vibration. And please share with your friends. Send these episodes out. Let's get this information out and let's get our divine inheritance back. Let's get rid of this current financial system that puts a burden on all of us. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I just want to be with all of you in that state of consciousness that is pure love, free from any kind of sin, in the light. Okay, I love you all. Have a blessed day.